I wanted to clear up some stuff from the fighting in the comment section of my video of my son. If you're unfamiliar, my name is Alyssa. I have a son who's 3.5. At 22 months, he went completely nonverbal and then was later diagnosed with regressive autism. They have him labeled as level 3 autistic or severely autistic. Anyways, so I just wanted to clear up some of this stuff. Everyone's fighting in the comments, but it's funny because there's very little research in autism. Like, at least in my opinion, I really think it could be a lot better. Like, I don't think we're trying as much anymore. I think we did for a little bit and then we're like, screw it, you know? Anyways, okay, fact number 1, autism is a blanket term. Autism is pretty much the label that we receive to try and receive benefits, okay? Like, benefits as far as, like, different therapies, more accommodations, understanding that, like, not everyone's brain is built the same, okay? It is a neurodivergence. So you have 100% of people, top 25, bottom 25, are neurologically divergent than the mass majority, which is that middle 50%, okay? So, blanket term. You can go on to find genetic markers of different things that may present as autism. That is correct, okay? And I'll defend both sides. Like, I will play devil's advocate here because we truly don't know, and that's what makes me mad. I wish we did. Number 2, huge spectrum. Like I said, huge. You have that top 25%. They say, like with Albert Einstein and how different he was, he likely had autism. He had to have been neurodivergent, is what they say. Totally understandable. I can see it, okay? And then you have the other 25%, like my son, where they will never functionally live by themselves. We will have to find a caregiver for him. It's really heartbreaking as a mom when your kid used to be able to say, "Mama, love you." Like, that's how he used to say it because he was only 22 months, of course. Like, he barely can say words together. So it was awesome that he could even do that. He could wave, he could blow kisses, he could do all these things. Now he can't even, like, look at me. Like, I will sit and, like, say, "Oh, screw," like, try and play with him and try and play in his way, and it's really hard. Anyways, so completely different. Spectrum's huge, okay? That's why it's a spectrum. It's pretty much just our best that we can do in the midst of getting research, but lately it's been a cancel culture where we don't want to do the research, which is baffles me, totally baffles me when a psychologist was allowed to tell me that my son would be institutionalized by adolescence and no one cares to know why. That's baffling. Okay, so those 2 points across, blanket term, huge spectrum. Okay, number 3, okay, sorry, got a call. Number 3, I wanted to talk about the study that they did in August of 2020. It's on the CDC site. It was about how they studied, like, postmortem individuals, so, you know, and they took, like, a control group of people without autism, and they took, like, I want to say it was like 500 or something of autistic individuals. Anyways, when they looked at their brains, they proved that there's brain inflammation in the vast majority of them. Like I said, huge spectrum. I don't think they're all caused the same. That's also a proven fact. They say it's heterogeneous, which means it has a bunch of different root attributes to why it was caused or triggered or whatever. Like some people, gonna play devil's advocate about the genetics, about if it could be the potential, you know, that you get at wellness checks, whether it could be like an injury. Anyways, this study found inflammation. And then they went on to, because it was so prevalent and because they found it in the vast majority, like a large portion of them, they went on to study alive individuals. And what they did instead, obviously you can't like study much of their brain because they're still alive. Instead they did like blood tests and they found markers that indicate inflammation, almost as if the body, like if you've ever heard of mast cell activation, the same markers in that where it causes inflammation and it's running throughout your body and coursing throughout your body. Anyways, okay. So knowing that there is like a rather proven study that most suffer from inflammation, lack of oxygen, okay? Let's play devil's advocate. Number 1, everyone always says, "Oh, well, it's genetic." Well, again, there's no like blood test, DNA test where you're just like, "You have autism, congrats, this is so easy." It's not easy like that. It's a psychological test, evaluation, whatever. Anyways, genetically speaking, what if there is a family that has a few different neurological differences? What if their ventricles or like their blood, you know, their blood vessels are just smaller, or somehow they're not giving the proper amount of oxygen to the brain or something of the sort? I feel like, that could cause a neurodivergence. That could be a genetic marker. We just can't really test it because we're alive. Okay. Number 2, everyone kept saying it's the things that you receive at wellness checks, and I'm not opposed to that belief because we have our own theories with that. But okay, so if you, it's interesting to me. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, when I got him and I'm not autistic, blah, blah, blah." Okay, how old are you? The boosting schedule, like we went from like back in before 1989, there was only like 1 MMR. Now, after 89, there were 2. Like, you had to get a booster, okay? Well, now, I'm pretty sure you receive numerous ones. So, like, every time, everyone's like, "Oh, there's not even that many vaccines in human history." They're not talking about that. They're talking about incidents where you're receiving said vaccine, whether it be via a booster or one that you've already gotten, but it's just an overload to some people's nervous systems. And that's a believable thing. If you want to watch 2 podcasts, and I honestly do not care. I don't care what you do with your kid. I'm going to preach my son's story, what we think it was, just for those that can relate and need an outlet, you know? But if you want to look at 2 podcasts, the one I recommend most, which is hard to listen to because the guy has some speech thing where I don't know if it's a disorder. Anyways, you can Google it. Okay, so Robert Kennedy Jr. or whatever, he's a political candidate. He's running like independent right now. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast, episode 1999. So like 1999. Okay. On that podcast episode, it's like 3 hours long. If you listen to the first 30 minutes, I guarantee you finish it because it's that good. I fact-checked him on the CDC. He 100% is legit. He was an environmentalist. He was in the Democratic Party and then moved to independent because he's just like, "I just want to heal the divide," you know? Awesome for him. Cool. Okay. Next thing I want to say, A Shot in the Dark. Great podcast. I don't know. it only is there to let you make your own decision. It's not like, you need to make this decision. It's like, here's what we know. Here's questions that haven't been asked and now we're trying to ask and get answers for. And they use the CDC site a ton. Like, most of their infographics are coming from the CDC, and they're making it easier for you to digest. So if you want to check both of those out, to my knowledge, the Joe Rogan one is on Spotify as the podcast. And then the other one is either on Livewire. I think there's blips of it on YouTube. Okay, so that's pretty much all we know. That's the only facts that I really have for you guys. If you want to follow along, my son's account is going to be the one that has that like heavy material, all the stuff about his treatment, potential like infographics, that kind of stuff. My account's mainly just like content creation, all the commission that I get, which is like a few cents to the dollar. It just goes towards his treatments and hopefully opening our nonprofit. Like I said, I want more research, and we'll keep trying like new things until we find something that really helps our son. Like, we're very determined. We're young. Our son is our whole life. Like, we really care about him. We care about our daughter. We just want what's best for them. Anyways, but yeah, if you want to follow along with me, I don't blame you if you don't. It's a lot of fluffy and heavy stuff, where my son's is just the heavy, hard-hitting stuff. So, thanks, guys.